Hello and welcome to Gangzol here. My name is Ryan Sampson. That's my guy Frankie Vineriti from U Stadium. Week 2 of the NFL. The Jets coming off a terrible loss against the Pittsburgh Steelers in a tough one. We'll break that down. We'll talk about everything about this matchup against Josh Allen. Some sound from Aaron Glenn about cutting Xavier Gipson. We'll get into it all, Jets fans. But before anything else, we got a little sound for you.
I would be shocked if he comes out and dices us up. We spoke about this last week. I've been looking into Rodgers and what he did last year. I think it's the end for him, and I really think that Pittsburgh may have made not the best decision unloading, this team on Aaron and saying, hey, can you get us over that hump? Can you win us a few playoff games? How do you feel about that? Would you be shocked if Aaron Rodgers came out and threw for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns?
No. And Ryan, clip that bit of Frankie there saying this is the end, and all that.
You
stuff,
wouldn't
so
be
that
surprised?
If the Steelers win on Sunday, we can play that back next week. I could start the show.
And that's how we start the show.
Are you guys serious right now? We're going to start the show that way? I thought we were going to wait a little bit.
Listen,
Holy
Kaz asked for me to
smokes.
start the show, and I'm starting the show with that clip right there.
Oh, you knew it. I should have bet the mortgage on. Although over 250 would have come under. I mean, in Frankie's defense, he only had what, 244?
244?
Yeah.
244. He didn't get 250.
He didn't get 250.
And you know what? Come on. Some of those passing touchdowns were a little bit.
Oh,
a little
they
bit.
still
I
count.
don't know. A little shovel
still
pass.
count.
That's like a run to me. I don't know, Kaz.
Okay, well, take that one away. He still has 3 passing touchdowns.
True. You know what?
Two
You were right.
Two
I
good
was
ones.
wrong. I'll admit it. Kaz was right. I'll bow down.
Aaron Rodgers,
I spoke a little ahead of myself.
He was not washed on Sunday, that's for sure. Fellas, look, we should start here about what the heck happened week 1. Kaz, it's our first time talking to you since that game. What a game. What a just overall fun, exciting football game the Jets played on Sunday. Back and forth, and just that 60-yard field goal, brutal at the end. But for you, your biggest takeaways, was it the Jets offense being exciting or more about the Jets defense kind of being a letdown there?
The Jets are watchable. That was my biggest takeaway, is because the Jets haven't just been bad in recent years. There have been just times where they just are completely unwatchable, right? Like it's how many times we talked about, they didn't have a first down until the 2-minute warning, or they didn't score they haven't scored in the first quarter for the last 12 weeks. Like, I don't have to tell Jets fans what they've watched the last few years, but this was like exciting. This was a fun freaking football game to watch. And it was back and forth, and whatever you think of Aaron Rodgers, like he can sling it still, right? So I know the Jets defense didn't have a great game, but I also think they played a quarterback that maybe people were underestimating coming into this game, and he's fresh, right? He's coming. It's the first week of the season. You play Aaron Rodgers in week 12, he might look different. But, I mean, it was fun. It was fun, Ryan. They were watchable, and their offense was functional, and we'll see if they can sustain it, but we know they have it in them now. That was my biggest takeaway.
Yeah, Kaz, I agree with you there. This was a great football game, and the best part about it was, like Kaz was saying, we're able to put up points.
Yeah.
This was an offense that kept that defense unbalanced the entire game. You saw what they were doing with their play calling. Everything had a constraint attached to it where Justin might keep it, Justin might give it. We had screens set up that weren't going there because we were going backside. I thought the offense was semi-brilliant in a way in what Tanner Engstrand was able to do, positioning these players to make plays. Kaz, Ryan, we said it last week. If we can get Breece Hall the ball in space, if we can get Garrett down the field, we can win. They did both of those things, and that was really exciting. Now, the thing I'm not excited about, and I'm sure we're going to get into this, I thought the defense was not very good. I thought the secondary was pretty bad, and we cannot give a pass, I think, to Steve Wilks and a little bit to Aaron Glenn, because you're a defensive coach, for allowing that Steelers offense to really do whatever they want, especially at the end of the game. A lot of mistakes there, but overall, I'm happy, and I agree with Kaz. It's something we can actually watch on Sunday and be semi-excited for come 1 or 4 o'clock, whenever the clock hits.
You threw the B word, brilliant out there for the offense. I mean, look,
Semi-brilliant. He said semi-brilliant.
I said semi.
Semi-brilliant.
Yes,
Semi-
thank you, Kaz. I appreciate
That was a good precursor to that word. Yeah.
Yeah.
well, look, I agree with both of you fellas. Like, it was a fun game. I as a fan, like, just I'm stuck with the loss, and it's a little sour taste in your mouth on what was overall like a really fun, exciting game to watch. I guess the follow up here for both of you is this sustainable with Justin Fields and this offense? Can they continue to run the ball and own the line of scrimmage like they did this past weekend?
I don't think you can do it every week, Ryan. Like, I just don't. I'm
Not every
sure,
week, but
you know.
on a consistent, like, hey,
Yeah.
this offense can be a threat every week almost.
I think the tough part here, right, is we don't know what the Steelers' defense is. Right? That's always the hard part of week one, is you're going off of preconceived notions of what the teams are. But look, I think their offensive line is legit, even without AVT. I think they're still, good. Now, the thing with the AVT injury, and I think I've said it before here, is now if they get one more injury, they're in trouble, right? Like, I don't think they can sustain another injury to a starter. But the line was great. Membu had just an unbelievable performance for his first game. And the Brees Hall trade rumors can die down for a little bit, right? Like, the Brees, that's the Brees that we were talking about a lot. And you saw it, and I think there's going to be other games where Braylon Allen has a big game. I think there's going to be other games where Justin Fields runs the ball more. I think if you wanted to nitpick Justin Fields' game, he probably should have kept it a couple times on zone reads when he handed it off, and that was really the only blemish you had, other than and then the last drive. But yeah, so I think they'll be able to run the ball. How much, how many games? I don't know, but I think you'll see it on a pretty consistent basis this season.
I'll say this. I'll throw in a little tidbit. The Buffalo Bills gave up the most yards last week to any team on the ground. They gave up 238 yards on the ground to Baltimore. Granted, Baltimore's got
Derrick
Lamar
Henry.
Jackson and Derrick Henry. That helps a bunch.
We got Brees
obviously.
Hall.
Yeah, and we have Justin Fields.
Brees Hall looked like his
Yeah.
rookie self on Sunday.
But that
Yeah,
Buffalo defense, guys, they can be exploited. Those linebackers were terrible against Baltimore. I'm curious to see how we're able to get that ball moving up the middle.
Yeah, and I think the Jets are operating kind of off the Baltimore blueprint, right?
Yeah.
They're sort of, they want to be the Ravens light. To me, is Ken Fields is Fields Lamar Jackson? No, but like, can he do some of the same things? And then can Brees and Braylon sort of replicate Derrick Henry as a composite? Can maybe. So yeah, I think it's a nice matchup for them with the Bills defense. And they came out today that Ed Oliver didn't practice, and he's was spotted in the facility with a boot on. So I don't think that sounds like he's playing Sunday. So that would be a big loss for their defense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you can see the Jets offense doing it again this week against the Bills.
Well, look, again, this is why I'm asking about the consistency for this offense. It's something the Jets have not had in years with this offense. I feel like we haven't had a consistent offense probably since Ryan Fitzpatrick and Brandon Marshall in 2015. Like, that was a consistent throwing, like, passing attack for this offense. This feels like a real formula for how they're going to establish themselves. Own line of scrimmage, run the ball, make some easy decisions for Justin Fields, let him be a playmaker in the read option part of his game. Justin Fields' aspect of this, Kaz, I don't think we've seen as Jets fans, and probably for you as a reporter, a quarterback this explosive and athletic as Justin Fields. And it feels like we're tapping into, and this is, again, week one overreaction, I get it. But it feels like the Jets could be tapping into something special here with Justin Fields.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be the best running quarterback in the history of the Jets, but that's not a high bar to clear right now. I think Al Doro in 1960 has the rushing record for a season, right? I actually texted Fitz because I was looking up the numbers, and I said, I just want to let you know you're number 5 on the list for seasons of rushing yards in Jets history. And he laughed and he said, Fields is going to pass me in week 2. So he's the most explosive quarterback with his legs that we've seen ever with the Jets. And I think the question, Ryan, and when you're talking about consistency, is can he go 16 to 22 like that every week? And when there's a week when they need him to throw 35 passes, what does it look like? Is it 16 to 35 or is it 28 to 35? And his passing was the shocking part of Sunday to me, and just how accurate he was, made the right decisions, was decisive. I thought the part of his game that I was blown away by was his ability to move in the pocket. Like I knew he could run. I knew he could take off running, obviously, but he had some moves Sunday where he would just take 2 steps up in the pocket, avoid the rush, threw it to Tyler Johnson in the middle of the field early. Then he threw one to Garrett down by the goal line there. I got them down. Like that was different than anything I've ever seen from him. And he can do that. That's tough because now the defenders can't crash him running. They're gonna be afraid he's throwing, and it could open some things up. So that when you ask about consistency, that's where I'm wondering, can they do the passing game? Can that be as consistent as it was Sunday?
And something else, and this I think is the key word with Justin Fields, and we saw it on Sunday, confidence. He had such command of that offense. Yeah. I watched the All-22 a few days ago. Ryan and Kaz, it looked like he'd been running this offense for 3, 4, 5 years.
Looks comfortable.
Looks very comfortable. Not overthinking, like Kaz is saying. His ability to move in the pocket and make plays. The confidence level from Fields was at an all-time high based on what I've seen from him in the NFL in the past. Looked like he did a little bit at Ohio State. Just kind of could do a little bit of whatever he wants if he wants to do it. You see him sometimes calling guys over to motion over, audibling. He audibled on that deep crossing route that was that touchdown to Garrett. That was his audible. He saw that cover 3 safety that was actually playing cover 1, that shell. That safety clicked on left, he went right.
Yeah, he did bite.
He audibled that play.
Yeah.
So he clearly is really in tune with this offense. And I think he's a very intelligent quarterback, which a lot of people don't bring up with Fields because they want to talk about his running ability and whatnot. He's a very cerebral quarterback. And with Tanner, I think it could be something interesting to say the least.
That's I think Kaz can speak to this more, but that's been part of what people have been questioning about Justin Fields is how does he see and process the field? And if he is going to sit back in at the pocket, is he going to make the right decisions with the ball? We saw a lot of that on Sunday.
Yeah, we did.
And I think credit Engstrand for getting him throws, some easy throws where guys were open and stuff. I thought Tanner Engstrand, outside of a few plays, had a really, really nice game Sunday.
Yeah, and then I do want to piggyback off what you were saying about if he's asked to do more in the offense. It feels like Glenn and Engstrand, though, are going to stay within that rushing attack. Like, I just take, for example, that first drive. They drive down the field. It's 3rd and 11.
Yeah.
And what do on 3rd and 11? They run the ball. They hand the ball off, and they go, no, we're not getting away from ourselves. Yeah. We want to get points up on the board.
You can do that, Ryan, unless it's 28-17 in the third quarter. Yeah.
Right? I hear you.
Now you got to start throwing the ball around a little bit. Like, they played from ahead a lot Sunday, which is that's the formula for them to have success. When they're playing from behind, it's going to be a little different.
We'll see. I do think they're going to try and stay as close to that run as possible, especially with the read option. It's like a lot of their offense is predicated off of that. So
it is. And the other thing here too is I thought, and looking back at the film, I thought coming out in the second half, I thought the offense was a little bit flat. I think they needed to do a little bit more to move that ball early on. Pittsburgh, you could see, was sort of grabbing a little bit of that momentum. Going into this week's game, I think that's going to be very key. I know Tanner is very good at scheming up those first drives and those, variances and play calling that he likes to do. They need to come out in the second half of this game against a Buffalo team that we all saw make that insane comeback where Baltimore had a 99.1
chance.
It
was insane. They should have won that game too.
Yeah. If Buffalo wants to score late, they're going to figure it out. The Jets have to come out in the second half and not do what they did this past week and put up points early in that third quarter.
Well, look, there was a lot more than just the offense, right? So let's get to the defensive part of what happened with this Jets game. Kaz, you talked to Frankie and I multiple times about Brandon Stevens and that you have questions and concerns about this guy because the Jets gave him a lot of money this offseason. Not many other teams were interested in him, if any were interested in him like the Jets were. Aaron Glenn preached that he thinks he can teach this guy, hey, play the ball more in the air, be more aggressive in that part. He can cover well. Well, I saw Aaron Rodgers pick on Brandon Stevens a lot, and it feels like, again, we talk about formula and game planning here. Teams are going to say Sauce is going to be covering our number one receiver. We're going to go after Brandon Stevens and target him a lot.
Yeah, and look, Pittsburgh saw him twice a year with Baltimore, so they knew him. Even if Rodgers hadn't faced him, Arthur Smith knew, and yeah, it's not hard to figure out with Sauce what they're doing. And look, he had a good training camp, and they were all high on him in training camp. It was weird. This might be a weird thing. he looked like he was slipping all over the place to me
He
Sunday.
did.
So I went over to him yesterday. We're recording this Thursday on Wednesday in the locker room, and I asked him like, "Do you need new cleats or something?" He probably thinks I'm an idiot, but because he looked at me like I had two heads. I'm like, "Dude, you slipped like on the touchdown. He slipped. There was a missed tackle where he slipped, and then the would-be interception. He slipped, and it rained all morning in New Jersey on Sunday, so the field is probably pretty wet. But I just thought it was a strange thing. So maybe he just needs better cleats. But he didn't seem to agree with my assessment. But yeah, he's going to be the hard part now for him, guys, is he is firmly in the sights of Jets fans. So like he is a guy that Jets fans didn't like the contract from the start. He has a bad week one. So now every mistake he makes is going to be magnified. So if he has a decent game, but he gives up one touchdown, you guys are going to be on him. And that's a hard existence in New York when that happens. It's hard to reverse that in my experience when you become one of those guys that Jets fans don't think is good. And then anytime you make a mistake, it becomes a big deal.
Yeah, we saw with Xavier Gipson.
Well, we'll get into that.
I'm just saying that's another public enemy that ends up getting cut. Because staying on the cornerback conversation, QB, CB2, what can the Jets realistically do there? I mean, is AZ Thomas going to eventually be ready to play? No, he's not. I mean,
eventually is a tricky word, but he's not ready right now. He missed a lot of training camp, and he's a third-round pick. My thing is always the first 2 rounds. Those are guys you think you can play right away.
Yeah.
After that, they're guys who are playing special teams for the most part and have roles on your team, and you're hoping they'll have to play as rookies, and you're hoping he can start as a second-year player. Like that, to me, that's the third round. You're hoping the guy can come in and start the second year. So I don't think that's happening anytime soon. I'm not sure what they can do, Frankie. I don't know if you go with the following aspect that they did with Sauce every week, or if you play sides, if that would be better for them. Yeah, because like they kind of knew where Sauce was going to be every time.
Yep.
But I mean, I don't know. Maybe you try to move them around a little bit and fool the defense. I'm not sure what you do. I think you just need them to play better. It's that simple. You just need them. You just have to hope. You saw something that you gave him $12 million, right? And you just got to coach him up, I think.
There's no real depth there. Also, I mean, who are you going to go to? You're going to go to
Stiggers.
Tony Adams is considered a backup corner on some depth charts. I mean, what?
I don't see that. I think Stiggers is the guy if they made a change right now. But you're not. I mean, you gave him $12 million. I know Aaron Glenn. We don't pay attention to the money and all that stuff, but the $12 million reflects a belief in him. So you're not going to abandon that belief this quickly.
Well, one other part about the secondary was Tony Adams seems like he really struggled. Cisco was Adams missed a huge tackle. I think it was on third down. Michael Carter missed another tackle. There were some poor angles, I think, from these guys. Kaz, I know Sauce is going to be Sauce, but how concerned should we be overall about this entire secondary?
Look, it's week one, right? I don't think you can overreact to any of this stuff either way in week one. So I think you kind of have to say, let's see more, and I wouldn't be overly concerned with it right now. Just like I don't think you can count on what they did offensively week one either right now every week. So I wouldn't overreact to it. Let's see what they do week two against the Bills and another good offense.
All right. You're telling me not to overreact. I won't. But I do want to ask Frankie here, and you can follow up here, Kaz, on this. This is Aaron Glenn's first true test in a critical situation here going down the stretch. Are you, wouldn't say concerned, but overall on how he managed the Jets down the stretch here, going for two a couple times? I thought he did smart before first half, faking for going for a fourth down, having the Steelers burn a timeout. What did you make of Aaron Glenn's first game action as a head coach with the Jets?
Like anything else, for the most part, there were things that I liked. I liked that he was aggressive. I liked that they were ready to play. I liked that it seemed like from a coaching perspective, everyone was really coached up to make plays, or some guys didn't end up making plays.
They were put in spots to make plays, right?
Yes, he put players in a position to make plays. That's what a head coach, at the end of the day, I feel like their job is. But I thought he went a little too far in terms of going for two when there's no advantage necessarily. I know analytics says go up 4, go up 3. You saw, and we said it in our post game, you're constantly chasing that 3 or that 7 because we're up 6, and then they end up, kicking that late field goal to kind of compensate for 2 missed extra 2-point conversions. So I think he went a little bit too far, I think. And I wish he just would have done what he did on that first drive where they said 3rd and 11, we're going to take the 3. You can't take the 3 and then go for it on 2 because you want to get cute. I just thought he tried a little bit too hard, I think, too early to channel his inner Dan Campbell. And I think, I don't want to say it burned us because it is what it is, but he's got to relax a little bit. Play the game, I feel like, the way it's supposed to be played. I understand going for 2 in that situation from the 1 with the penalty. Analytics says this, go up 3. Because if you're up 2, it could hurt you. And it actually did. So, but at the end of the day, if I had to give him a grade, Aaron Glenn, I give him a B. A B. I don't think he did anything that was, life-changing for the Jets. But I also don't think he cost us the game at all. Like he coached to a little bit better to what I expected, but B plus ish.
Kaz?
Yeah, I would agree with the grade, actually. I think I did give him a B in the paper on Monday, but I had no problem with the 2-point conversion. Everyone, when it goes to the 1, everyone goes for 2. Like, that's just kind of what it is. I don't think it's even at that point a decision about go up by 4 or go by 3. I think it's the odds are good. You're going to get an extra point by going for the 1. I hated the play call.
Yeah, the play call was terrible. Yeah.
You got Justin Fields, and we saw what Justin Fields can do with his legs at the goal line later. Like, when the Jets are at the 1-yard line, they should be trying to either sneak it with Justin Fields or rolling him out or doing the bootleg, like whatever. But
Braylon wasn't even in the game. What's it called? Wasn't in the game. Brees Hall wasn't in the game. Braylon was in the game.
Yeah, it was Braylon.
Yeah.
Now look, they've said Braylon's going to be the guy in short yardage. So but I just didn't love the play call. To me, the only critique I had, and this might be nitpicky, the timeouts. And I asked him on Monday and he didn't get I don't think he completely understood what I was asking him, but he used a timeout. They had the penalty on Jalen Ramsey. They first called on Garrett, then it was on Jalen Ramsey. It got to the ball inside the 10. I don't remember the exact yard line. They burned a timeout there. Okay. And that was early in the fourth quarter. Then they burned a timeout before the 2-point conversion. So he said on one of those plays, there was a defensive look they didn't like. They wanted to switch the play. So he's a timeout. But now you have one timeout in a game that's so close, and you kind of burn 2 timeouts earlier because of something operationally, right? If you're using those timeouts there, I don't exactly know what it was, but to me that wasn't great for him. But again, I call that a nitpick. Overall, I thought he did a good job. I thought they were ready to play. I liked the feistiness that they showed. There was a lot of fight there, and like we said, I thought the game plans were good. To me, the defensive struggles weren't game plan so much as execution, missed tackles, blown coverages. But I thought overall the coaching was pretty good on Sunday.
I can agree with both you guys on that. I think I'm very excited to see where this goes, Aaron Glenn. I'm really enjoying where this was the first week of seeing it all from his execution and standpoint of calling the game and how he wanted to manage the game. And I think it's only going to get better from here. And I think he's one of those guys who's going to learn from whatever he does and just keep building on that. One of the biggest things, though, in the storylines that came out of Sunday was Xavier Gipson fumbling the kickoff, and that led to a whole 14-point swing and all the momentum going back to the Steelers, because it really felt like at that point the Jets could have gone back down the field, answered the Steelers, and maybe have taken over this game and completely won the game. The Jets decided to move on for Xavier Gipson, a guy that was on the roster bubble cause before as the roster was being cut down, and Aaron Glenn straight up says, if you're not going to help us win the game and you're going to cost us to win games and plays like that, you're not going to be on the field. So I do want to play this sound from Aaron Glenn after the game Sunday and then get your guys' reaction. For the gang sounds off.
The one thing to me that had to turn this game is, man, we can't have turnovers. We can't do it. We have to be a more disciplined team, right? There were some penalties that happened in that game that was true discipline issues. And, again, that's something that will be addressed, because you will not be on the field with this team if you're going to cause us to lose games. You're going to cause issues like that. So we will get that addressed.
Well, they got it addressed, Kaz. What was your reaction to Xavier Gipson being cut yesterday?
Yeah, I thought it was a good message of accountability for Glenn. I thought it was an easy one, though, right? Like, cutting Xavier Gipson's not that hard. What happened? Quincy Williams had a pretty bad penalty. Quincy Williams is still going to play on Sunday, right? Like, so I like it. I like it. I like it. I thought it was good. Like he had a chance to send a message and he did. But like Xavier Gipson is a guy we were debating on the roster or not. So it wasn't the hardest move in the world to make to me. I also called into question though 2 weeks ago why they think this guy belonged on the team,
Yeah.
right? And then he makes one mistake and he's gone. And I think we all debated Jamal Pritchett. And Pritchett didn't really seize the opportunity that was given him in camp. I thought he could have done more. He muffed a punt against Philadelphia in the preseason. That hurt him. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a good message. I think it's something we haven't seen much of in a while. It's funny. I was trying to think of the last guy that I remember like getting cut right after a mistake like that. Here's what I see if you guys have any other ones you remember. The one I came up with is Khalif Raymond fumbled a punt in Oakland with 2017. I want to say Bowles was the coach. Fumbled a punt inside the 10, and the Raiders scored, and they cut him the next day. And Khalif Raymond has had a nice career now, so every time I see Khalif Raymond, I don't know if he's still on the Lions, but he was on the Lions for a while. I was thinking that that's the last time I really remember something like that happening to a player.
Yeah, for something on the field, I can't think of anything else. Off the field, I can think of a couple of things of what the Jets cut players for. So I do want to ask you though. He did say yesterday after the news dropped that it wasn't just one thing with Gipson. So was there something more there that we're missing about the Gipson?
Well, look, the guy put the ball on the field a lot last year. I think someone said the number's 10. He's like not lost, but like 10 overall muffs, fumbles. I think he really hasn't done a lot in his time. He hasn't, he had the amazing punt return to win the game against Buffalo in 2023, but it's hard to think of other great moments. He had a lot of, I think he led the league in punt return total last year, but he also led the league in muffs. So I think that's what he meant, the culmination. I also think, Ryan, he was being very careful not to kick the guy on his way out the door. Xavier Gipson is a really nice guy, and he really worked hard, was very popular in the locker room. I think the Jets hope someone picks him up, he gets another chance. I think he'll end up on a practice squad somewhere. It's probably what would be best for him right now. So I don't think Glenn wanted to be like too much of a tough guy yesterday. He made the move, right? They made the move. You don't have to spike the football after you do it. So I think he was just being careful there.
Yeah, and I also think the optics behind it, you don't want to make it seem like necessarily that you cut somebody because of one lost fumble, right? Because
Garrett Wilson fumble on Sunday.
So I think there's something there too. You don't want to be the coach. The players are like, oh wow, you fumble once. Who is this? Bill Belichick, 5.0 out there. So I don't think that he wanted that message to come across. Even if it's true, I don't think he wanted that message to come across. He also fumbled twice, by the way, in the game. We recovered one.
Well, that one didn't count as a fumble technically.
They didn't chalk it up as one?
No, in the box score was one fumble.
Oh, okay.
So I know what you guys are saying. But it wasn't actually recorded as a fumble.
So this begs again the culture, the C word that Kaz doesn't like that much until winning happens.
I wrote about it today.
I know you did.
Is that your least favorite C word, Kaz? Culture?
Listen.
That's a dangerous conversation.
So look, it's a great piece. If you guys haven't read it yet in Post Sports Plus, go check it out. Subscribe to Post Sports Plus because there's a lot of great content there from Kaz and all the other New York Post columnists. But Kaz
broke the news, by the way, about Xavier.
I know he did, and he wrote this awesome piece about the culture that the Jets are trying to establish here. And as always, he references it's about winning, right? Winning is going to establish culture, but there is something going on here with Aaron Glenn that feels different, at least from fans' perspective. But I'll let Kaz talk about what he wrote about here.
Yeah, I hate the word because everyone uses it, and if the team's losing, they have a bad culture, and then when a new coach is hired, he's going to change the culture. And it's like, to me, it's a hard thing to define. And I don't know if you guys have heard that there was a case in 1964 that appeared before the Supreme Court about pornography, and one of the justices said obscenity. He goes, I can't really define what obscenity is, but I know it when I see it. I think that's easy to understand. I think culture, that's like culture. It's hard to really say what culture is, and I think that's why I hate it so much because it's just overused. But I think this week we saw it. I think the Xavier Gipson thing, you saw it. I think we saw it Sunday. I just like there was like a feisty is the word I keep using, but they had this feistiness to them, and they went over the line a couple times. John Simpson went over the line, but they were jawing with Jalen Ramsey at the end of the half. I don't know. There was something going on, and you can see it. I think Jets fans must be like loving Aaron Glenn's sideline demeanor, right? Because he's all over the place cheering and yelling and screaming, and that's what they always wanted from Salah and never got. So, yeah, there was definitely an energy there Sunday that I haven't felt in a while, and I thought, that to me, I know it when I see it, and I can see what he's trying to do now.
It's refreshing. It feels legit. It doesn't feel forced. It feels authentic where that's coming from with Aaron Glenn. And this is just an example here with Gipson, and we'll see how it continues to progress with Aaron Glenn. Kaz, it's funny you say that. Did you see the guy on the flag
I love
during the pregame ceremony? What the heck was going on with that?
I don't know what was going on with that. But yeah, those flags are dangerous, I think. I was thinking people are going to get caught under them, or I didn't realize on top of them now,
Come on, you guys have had moments in your life. You had a few too many. I don't know, Miller Lights. You guys the Coors Lights.
Come on, you bring out the flag. How do you get caught on the top of the flag, though? That's what I'm.
Him trying to get off was really funny.
That was very funny.
There's always a flag moment when Aaron Rodgers plays Week 1 in
There you go. Fellas, let's go to the key matchups of this game. Jets-Bills. We got to preview this game. Jets are 6.5-point dogs at home. Buffalo coming off that incredible Sunday night win. Josh Allen threw for, 290 yards, I think, or 275 yards in the fourth quarter alone. It was something insane like that.
251,
250.
I think it was.
250.
Yeah,
That's
251,
insane in the fourth quarter alone. Look, the Jets have had some success against the Bills in recent history. The Bills have also blown out. Here at MetLife. But the Jets have also caused a ton of turnovers in Josh Allen's career. You think he's got the most in his career versus the Bills, versus the Jets. So what's the key matchup here? What are you watching, Kaz, for this weekend that's going to help determine this game?
Quincy Williams is the guy for me, right? Because I think Josh Allen is just so dangerous when he gets out running. Can Quincy bottle him up a little bit? He's the guy who has the speed on the Jets defense to go sideline to sideline and sort of just be that patroller. Can Quincy do a little better in pass coverage? Because we talked about everyone's talking about the secondary. The linebackers were not good in coverage either on Sunday. So they're going to need that to kind of take the intermediate game away from Josh Allen. So I'm looking at Quincy Williams. And like you said, I wrote about the other day, he has 16 passing touchdowns and 11 interceptions against the Jets. He also has 7 lost fumbles against the Jets. If you compare it, I think the Dolphins, he has like 35 or 38 touchdowns against the Dolphins and 7 interceptions. So like that's a comparable team to me that he's played the same number of times as the Jets. He hasn't really killed the Jets in game. He's killed the Jets in that he's dominated the division, and the Jets always seem to have bad moments against the Bills, particularly in Orchard Park more than here. But yeah, so I think I'm looking at can Quincy Williams bottle him up a little bit and not let him run all over them. That's
a good one. Frankie, what's your key matchup here?
Well, for me, it's a coaching matchup. So piggybacking a bit off of Kaz, it's Steve Wilks' defense as a whole versus Joe Brady's offense. Now, I looked into the Bills' offense a little bit the last couple days, and they're running some really unique things out there. They're getting their running backs open in space. They like Ty Johnson up that wheel route. They were using Keon Coleman a ton. They still have Khalil Shakir, who's a really good weapon across the middle. Now they got Joshua Palmer in there, who gives them some value. And Dalton Kincaid looked very good for Buffalo, as did Jackson Hawes. So they have a slew of kind of like up-and-coming weapons that haven't nearly developed out, but it's Josh Allen, who people think is the best quarterback in football. What does Steve Wilks do to stop him? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I know if we did what we did last week with Old Man Rivers, they call him, and DK Metcalf, we're going to have a problem. I didn't even bring up James Cook, who didn't have a great game last week, but you know what he can do on the ground. He's a tough runner up the middle and he's got some solid vision. I don't know what the Jets defense has to do. I don't have the answer, but Steve Wilks better come up with something, because the last thing you want to do is give up 35 to 40 points against Buffalo and expect this offense to bail you out. And I can't believe I'm actually saying that, honestly, but they got to stop. They got to stop that offense.
It feels like a big game from Will McDonald and Jermaine Johnson has to happen. Those two guys are going to be chasing down home Josh a lot.
Yep.
And it's about getting him down to the ground too. You can't you can't let him run past and escape the pocket and make plays downfield. That's again, big matchup there. For me, it's what you guys talked about earlier. It's Brees and Braylon running the ball against this Bills defense. If Ed Oliver's out, it helps the Jets big time. I like the fact that the Bills could not stop the run at all against the Ravens. But be careful because they'll also get costly turnovers in the right time. We saw how the Ravens had a costly turnover at the end of the game, which pretty much cost them the game. Same thing happened to the Jets here against the Steelers. So the running backs got to hold on to the ball. I'm looking forward to seeing how Brees and Braylon could get loose, make some big plays downfield, and make explosive runs from this Jets offense because I think they can truly run the ball against this Bills defense.
Yeah, and what was the record?
Should point out, guys, too, the defense, they did a great job against the run. Sunday.
Yeah.
Right, we focused a lot because they were not good against the pass, but they really did. And run defense was something we were watching coming off of last year. They did a very good job against the run. Pittsburgh couldn't run the ball at all on Sunday.
And did you see the Jets' record? I think in their history, they only lost one game where they scored as many points as we did last week. And
yeah, the Garrison. Well, yeah, it was scored as many points. It was
time of possession, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
It was the Garrison Hurst game.
Yep.
Week 1 of 1998.
Yeah.
It was the conference game.
So,
which Aaron Glenn was at too.
Yeah, he was.
Let's do some.
Look, that season turned out okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
but they changed quarterbacks 2 weeks after that game. So
yeah.
Let's do some trivia, fellas.
Woo.
For both of you. Let's see if you can get this.
Are you keeping up with trivia win losses, or you're just
no? I just want to see if I can stump Kaz.
Please don't.
I stumped Kaz last week, so I'm just happy about that.
I should be the one saying please don't.
Fellas, what Jets running back has the record for the most rushing yards in a single game versus the Buffalo Bills all time?
Wow.
Single game against the Buffalo
I'm
Bills.
I'm gonna pick one of his guys, Freeman McNeil.
No. Kaz?
I feel like last week I didn't go with the obvious Curtis Martin, and it burned me. But I don't think you'd go back to the well on Curtis Martin twice. I'm going to go John Riggins.
Nope, not John Riggins. Fellas, it was Thomas Jones. October 18, 2009.
How many interceptions did Sanchez throw?
I don't know.
Look it up.
I don't know how many.
What are you going to guess, Kaz?
They lost that game. Sanchez, I think, threw 5 interceptions.
In that game?
I'm pretty sure that's the game. Thomas Jones ran all over them. 16-13 or something like that, Ryan?
16-13.
Wow.
Sanchez threw 5 interceptions. The Jets threw 6 because Steve Weatherford threw an interception as well because the Jets tried to do in the fake punt.
That's a good trivia question.
That's a good one. Thomas Jones had 210 rushing yards, a touchdown for 22 carries. He has the most rushing yards in a single game as a New York Jet against the Buffalo Bills. So
one of the most underrated Jets.
Oh, I love Thomas Jones. Loved watching him, man. He was awesome. All right, I stumped Kaz 2 weeks in a row. I'm pretty excited.
But he followed up
points
though.
for knowing the game now.
Yes, absolutely. That was impressive.
But he followed up even last week. Remember, he followed up with getting the other trivia right. So
all right, let's do some over unders. Then we're gonna do some picks. So that leads me into a lot of rushing yards here, fellas. There's some good lines here. To set this up for all you Jets fans, please bet what Kaz picks for over under. You're going to win money. Last week,
fade me.
Don't put that pressure on me.
Kaz went 6-2 last week. Frankie went 3-5. Not a good week for you. Let's start off with Justin Fields. We'll get Frankie's pick first, and then Kaz for each one of these. We have Justin Fields 187.5 pass yards this weekend.
Over.
Sorry, guys. I just got the injury report.
And
Sauce Gardner has a groin injury. He was limited in practice today, which means he hurt his groin in practice today. And Josh Reynolds has a hamstring injury and did not practice today. So
awesome.
Great. Exactly what I wanted to hear.
Great.
Excellent.
If they don't have Sauce, man, they don't have a chance.
Do we know, Kaz, I'm assuming what you said is correct, but did this happen in the game?
No, you just said in practice.
But it did happen in
Frankie,
practice.
So we don't know, Frankie. But here's the logic of injury reports. He practiced yesterday. We're recording this Thursday. He practiced on Wednesday. He was limited in practice today. So had something happened yesterday, he would not have practiced at all today. When you're listed as limited, that means you exited practice today, most likely, unless. With a groin injury, they wouldn't be like, all right, go out and just do individuals and don't do team. They'd be like, just rest completely. If he had a groin, he must have hurt his groin in practice today.
Gotcha.
Now, we don't know the extent of it or anything like that. We'll know more on Friday, and people listening to this might know more when they listen to this. But that is not a good development. And then Josh Reynolds has a hamstring and did not practice. And I know Josh Reynolds didn't light the world on fire last week, but he's also, I guess Alan Lazard will be active this week. Uh-oh. I might have to work that into my prediction this week.
Man, these receivers.
So I wasn't listening, Ryan.
No, it's okay.
These receivers just stink, man. We have that. By the way, PFF gave us the highest receiving grade out of all teams on week 1.
Garrett Wilson the reason why we had the highest receiving grade?
but our receivers performed the best.
That Sauce Gardner injury could be brutal.
Calls into question PFF grades as well.
Yeah, yes. I tend to agree there.
That's something to watch if Sauce Gardner can't suit up this weekend. Justin Fields, 187.5 passing yards.
I'm switching. I'm going under now.
Okay.
I don't know why. Because,
Josh Reynolds. The one catch for 15 yards is going to hurt you?
Under.
Kaz?
187.5. I'll go over.
Kaz says over.
Then that's a win for Kaz again.
We'll see. Justin Fields, 43.5 rushing yards.
Over.
Yeah, I'll go over as well.
Okay, let's switch over to Josh Allen, 231.5 pass yards.
Way over.
Over. Yeah, I'm going over.
That might boost up now because of the Sauce injury. Josh Allen, 33.5 rush yards.
It's good.
It's a good number.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to go over. I think he's going to bust one out.
I'll go under.
Breece Hall, 57.5 rushing yards.
Wow. I'm going over that one.
Over.
That's a low number, isn't it? I mean, I'm kind of wondering.
Yeah.
They don't see the Jets doing
what
much.
Does
it
Vegas
like
know? Breece Hall, 18.5 receiving yards.
Over. 18.5?
18.5.
Yeah. It's so obvious. I'm going to go over too.
All right, let's switch over to the receivers. Garrett Wilson, 59.5 receiving yards.
That's good. I'm going to go under. I went under on passing. I'll go under here.
Yeah.
Too.
I same logic. I have to go over because I went over on Fields.
So you're saying over?
Over, yeah. Garrett has to.
Frankie has under. And then right now, Keon Coleman's is at 44.5 receiving yards. That could change of Sauce, but that's what we got, 44.5 receiving yards.
Over.
Yeah, over, I agree.
All right, fellas, that's a lot of overs, which means we're going to have some offense happening on Sunday, which I'm excited for. Now let's pick the game. Jets 6.5-point dogs at home. Like I said, I'll start off with Frankie, and then I'll go to Kaz, and then I'll finish up.
All right, guys. Been thinking a lot about this. Had a little bit of a weird train ride today, by the way, but I don't want to get into that at all. But on the train ride, you know what somebody said? Randomly, I just heard it. Go Jets. So you know what? I'm sticking with it. Go Jets. I think the Jets are going to take this on Sunday. I have a feeling that the Buffalo defense is not good this year. I don't like their defensive coordinator much at all, Bobbish, and I really think that Tanner Engstrand's going to have their number all day. The Jets coming off a bad loss in a game that I don't care what anybody tells me, guys, they should have won. So I think they're going to come out and they want to win this game, and they almost have to win this game. So I just think it's ours. And I don't think Buffalo played as good as people think. I know they're rah-rahing everywhere, and they're number one in power rankings because they beat Baltimore. They didn't play good until the fourth quarter. They got gashed up. I think we're going to beat them at home, and we have their number at home, so I have no reason to not believe it. I think our guys get home. Jermaine and Will McDonald, like we spoke about. Quinnen's looked really good. Steve Wilkes, don't let me down, my man. And
you got a score?
Yeah. Score prediction, 37-34.
Another high-scoring game.
High-scoring one. Jets are going to score a lot of points.
By the way, all of us Jets fans, you guys should probably know, we all went 0-1. We all picked the Jets to beat the Steelers last week. Kaz, what do you got, man?
Fool me once, Ryan. Fool me twice, shame on me. I am not taking the Jets this week to win this game. However, I do think 6.5 is too much. I think it's going to be close. These games at MetLife have been good the last few years. They not so much when they go to Buffalo, but the games at MetLife, have been good games for the most part in recent years. They beat them a couple times, 2022, 2023. So I'm going to go Bills 31, Jets 30.
That's a good score.
Jets. All right. I'm on the same boat as Kaz. I think the Jets can't win this game. I don't think they're good enough to hang in with the Bills offense. I think maybe we'd see a step back from this Jets offense this week in terms of production. And I just, now with the Sauce injury, concerns me even more. I don't think their secondary can hang in with those guys. Keon Coleman actually looks like maybe a breakout receiver this year. And Josh Allen has that Superman look in his eyes right now, and he just plays like Superman on the field. And I could see them driving down the field at the end of the game, winning it at the end. So I got Bills 27, Jets 20. They're going to cover.
Let me ask.
Cover.
Yep.
Are we doing it against the spread, Ryan?
No, just straight up bets
Straight
here.
up.
Yeah.
Let me say something to you guys. Rationally speaking, based on history and what we know with this Jets franchise, I agree with you guys for the most part in that sentiment. But what if things are different now? What if this offensive line is different now? What if Tanner Engstrand, who actually is different, not what if, he is different, excuse me. It might be a different Jets team. This might be a different Jets offense altogether. That's why I said Steve Wilks kind of worries me a bit because I don't really trust that defense and some of his scheming, and Glenn to a degree there too. But what if the offense is just completely different? That Buffalo defense, guys, looked so bad against Baltimore that why can't they bully them like we were texting about during the game? Why can't Justin Fields and Tanner scheme guys open across the middle? I'm having faith that it could happen for one more week. I'm trying to convince myself here clearly, but
how's the Jets offense going to stop Josh Allen?
That's what
He's Superman. He's Superman right now.
I mean, they're not. I don't think they will. I really don't.
So,
I think they need to.
You have to outscore them then.
I think they do, Kaz.
The Ravens
hope for a
did
turnover
their best
too
last week and couldn't do it. And the Ravens, Jets offense might be better. They're not the Ravens offense right now. And so I don't know. I think it's too much to ask right now. He's playing out of his mind. And we can do a whole podcast on the decision in 2018 to not draft him.
Oh yeah.
Because I read the other day, I mean, to me, like, you can play that game every year and say, they should have taken Mahomes or should have taken Lamar. But the Josh Allen one, to me, he went 4 picks after Sam Darnold and he's in your division. Like, that's Marino O'Brien, but it's even worse because O'Brien at least was a good quarterback for a while for the Jets. But this is, it's Josh Allen's my answer, Frankie. Like, it might be different. I just think he's different right now. I think he's elevated his game in the last couple of years here where he's just he's tough.
Yeah.
He'll throw us a few balls, though. We know that. And we saw that this past week. We couldn't get him, and we had no turnovers again. They're going to need a turnover or two to win this game, guys.
That's what most of the time it comes down to game
right.
to plays like that. You got to have
Yep.
the turnovers. We're looking forward to seeing how this goes. Frankie and I will be on the post-game show as always. We'll react to however this game turns out, but we're looking forward to it. Kaz, we're looking forward to your coverage throughout the week. We'll keep our eyes peeled on what the heck's going on with Sauce and see if he's a game-time decision or not, if he can suit up and play. But we appreciate you, man, and we appreciate you, Frankie. And next time, we'll catch you, Jets. But as always, this is Gangs All Here. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button on the New York Post Sports YouTube channel. Find us wherever you get your podcast. And as always, go Jets.